I know most are going to think this is an overreaction based on the title, which I haven't figured out how I'm going to title the video, by the way. I usually do that as a last step after editing, but it's going to be something along the lines of this being a new Bulls team, or that the Bulls are back. And I know some are going to say, all right, calm down, dude. This team is still 12-17. They're 11th in the East. Might be 10th in a few minutes, depending on how the Hawks finish out their game against the Houston Rockets. But let me tell you why this is a different team and why I believe this team is here to stay. And it starts with the shift in mentality from this roster, which I've talked about before, and it being a big change in this team a few games back, but I question whether the Bulls would be able to sustain this kind of play over time, because last season we would see these stretches where they played good team basketball with grit and energy, and then they would just go right back to their old ways. This is a stretch of 10 games now since Zach Lavine has been out where they've gone 7-3 in said stretch. And two of those losses being incredibly close, where the Bulls lost to the Milwaukee Bucks in overtime and then the buzzer beater against the Miami Heat. And it's not like the Bulls are beating garbage teams. You're talking about the Sixers, who were on a 6-game winning streak at the time, the Miami Heat, the Bucks, now the Lakers, and they're doing it in convincing fashion. The reason I say this is different and why it's here to stay, again, depending on how Zach comes back and if the Bulls actually move him by the trade deadline, but the Bulls are finally playing the way Billy Donovan and the front office have been wanting them to play, with pace, speed, ball movement, and changing their overall shot profile, things that they harped on media day. And the fact that the Bulls have seen this and they've seen it working, they're seeing the results, they've embraced it as a team, they're buying into the system, they're playing with confidence, and they're playing for each other, for the betterment of the team. The post-game interviews have been saying it all. I mean, winning cures all, we know this, but even in the losses, the guys have been much more positive. They've been speaking highly of each other and how they're playing together collectively as a team. And look, all it takes is a swing in momentum, a change in attitude, a change in approach to turn a season around. And I'm not saying the Bulls are suddenly going to be competing for a title, not even close. Even with the way they've been playing lately, how they currently stand, they're probably a first-round exit team at best. So yes, changes to the roster still need to be made. I think it's clear they don't need Zach Lavine, especially if you can get some assets for him in return. They still do need a bit of retooling of some kind, but as a fan, I'm in a much happier place knowing that this team has finally started to show some life. They've finally figured their shit out. And what gives me even more confidence in this team, not just for the season, but for the future, is the young guys who we were kind of down and out on are finally starting to make strides and showing us the potential we were all hoping for, and taking that leap that we've been talking about for years now. And I'll start there because Patrick Williams and Coby White, I mean, they're on new levels, completely different planes from what we saw at the start of the season. Coby White is just feeling it. Like, there's no other way to put it. Confidence is at an all-time high. He's doing more than just the scoring. Like, not only is he shooting it lights out from three, but he's scoring in the paint from mid-range, but also impacting the game with his rebounding, passing, being that floor general, and also playing with effort on defense, deterring shots when guys are driving to the basket, drawing charges. I said it before, but I'm also just way more confident in seeing Coby White control the game. I have so much more confidence that he's going to actually finish when he goes up strong to the hoop. And it's just so refreshing to finally see a success story for the Bulls in terms of player development. Now, as for Patrick Williams, started out the game getting a little shook, getting beaten off the dribble by LeBron James, but he turned things around, responded well, kept up the aggression, kept getting his shots up. And I don't think people realize how important that is, because you're talking about a player who would, if he started out a game poorly, made a bad play or two, missed a shot badly, it impacted the rest of his night. And he would be so passive and deferential from that point forward. Pat, more recently, even when he goes through some tough stretches in a game, he still maintains the energy, he still keeps looking for a shot, still stays active on both ends. And for Patrick Williams, who was 3 for 3 tonight from 3, finally getting that 3-point stroke back, 6 for 10 overall, 15 points while being guarded by LeBron and Anthony Davis on most possessions, was very impressive. I mean, you're talking about a player who was shooting, 15% from 3 through the first 10 games or so? He's completely turned things around. Speaking of young guys too, how about Ayo? 14 points, 5 for 8 from the floor, 4 for 6 from 3. He's gotten that shot back after the slump from last season, but also maintained the defensive intensity and effort in the point of attack. 2 blocks, 2 steals. I mentioned this on Twitter, but if Ayo turns into a legit 3-and-D type player, kind of like how we've been seeing from Alex Caruso, who I'll get to, but Ayo becoming a solid and reliable 3-and-D type role player is just what the Bulls need for this team. And talk about playing into a very, very team-friendly contract if he can keep up this level of production. But yeah, I mean, for Alex Caruso too, him shooting threes consistently on that kind of clip, over 40%. Tonight, he was 3 for 4 from 3, 15.6 rebounds, upping that trade value, especially against a team that has reportedly been interested in him, although I still maintain the Bulls should not trade Caruso unless it's for an insane haul that's just too good to pass up. But the guy who was really selling his trade value, another guy rumored to be a target for the Lakers, DeRozan, man, was on point tonight and could not miss. 12 for 16 from the floor. Not only did he have that insanely efficient shooting night with 27 points, but also being facilitator DeMar and tallying 9 assists as well as 7 rebounds, flirting with another triple-double. And he was also a team high plus 17 on the night. Vucevic was okay in this one. He had some nice plays down the stretch and was active on the boards, 13 points and 10 rebounds. I mean, Vuce was hitting three-pointers tonight, but man could just not finish at the rim. Couldn't even hit an easy shot on Anthony Davis after he rolled his ankle and was barely playing. Vuce is actually having a very subpar season in terms of his efficiency finishing at the rim. Almost been shockingly bad, but he has been kind of making up for it in other areas with his rebounding and passing. Wow, the Bulls tonight as a team, 18 for 34 from 3. Good enough for 53%. They were 54.5% from the field overall. Won this game pretty handily despite not getting up as many shots as the Lakers did. They really led this game the whole time, except for the opening minutes of the first quarter. Bulls continue to be better on the glass. They out-rebounded the Lakers 48-40, another game in which they tallied 25 assists, keeping those passing numbers up, slowly ticking up from being dead last in the league in assists, and then also being second to last in rebounding. Those numbers are going up as well. So Bulls improved to 12-17. Still a long ways to go, and yes, the Hawks actually did win their game, seeing that now, so they remain 11th in the Eastern Conference, but surprisingly, they're only 5.5 games back out of the 4th seed. So the race is going to stay closer than people think. Every game is critical, margin of error is thin, as I said a lot last season. Bulls are right back at it tomorrow night against the Spurs at the United Center, another opportunity to secure a win against a struggling Spurs team. Tomorrow's my wife's birthday, so I might not get a post-game video out until the morning, but we'll see. Until then, guys, as always, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.